All right, Neil, you got a few saddles there. What's going on?
We've got them lined up, mate. We've got a couple of interesting ones here. SMP, this is the standard saddle that comes on a
Always
polygon.
the SMP.
Well, it's the Eagle. It's the saddle to which everything else is compared, isn't it, realistically? I mean, even the one behind me here, you know, that's your Eagle beak. We've got a couple of TT saddles as well. An SQ Labs saddle, time trial saddle, very interesting TT seat. And the old classic, mate, the ISM. Used to be called an Adamo, now there's about 15 different ones. This is a PS 1.1. And we had a few requests about this topic. So we're going to waffle on for a few minutes about time trial saddles on road bikes and why you shouldn't use them and why you sometimes should in very rare situations.
Okay.
So a little bit of background. How do these saddles differ? Look, there are lots of different variations of time trial saddles out there, but they are quite different to road saddles in two key ways. One is the amount of padding through the front section. They tend to be really, really soft and heavily padded through here, and a lot of them have this split nose setup. The ISM is the classic one. You will see, I think this shape is patented, so you will see things like the Celitalia Watt, the Bontrager High-Low, those ones. You will see very sort of similar shape, except the nose is joined, but the ISM is the classic one that everyone knows. Now, a little bit of background in pelvic anatomy first, mate. The shape of a human pelvis on the bottom is curved in 3 dimensions, right? So the ischiums, or your sit bones, they are at the rear of the section here of the pelvis, and then it curves inwards in 3 dimensions and curls up at the front. When you're sitting moderately upright, let's say that you're in a road position, your pelvis is rotated forward a little bit, your spine is, say, shaped like this. This sort of seat offers pressure, good distribution of pressure loading through the ischiums underneath your bum, right? That's what they're designed to do. The old the old SMP here.
How dare you?
The other 3-letter acronym that we're dealing with. I'll probably confuse them a few times. The SMP obviously is curved like a human pelvis, and it's designed to spread pressure everywhere for those sort of moderately upright pelvis positions, right? Without focalizing the pressure too much through the front, they are trying to actually get you to sit on your bum. That's the whole idea of a road saddle, and trying to sort of clear the perineum either with a central channel or with a rise at the rear to actually hopefully clear the front section of the perineum off the seat enough that you're not going to get numbness in your important regions, shall we say. These things are totally different. These are designed so that when you rotate forward a lot to get down on the skis on a time trial position, a triathlon position, for example, the designers of these have known for a long time, and anyone who's ridden a TT bike with a road saddle for a long time will know that as you rotate forward that much, it's going to load your perineum. Pretty much no matter what. There's a couple of people I've met over the years who can sit on road seats and rotate forward that much and not load their perineum, but they're extremely rare. So as you rotate forward and get down low, you're going to be loading the front section of your pelvis. And the idea behind these things is that they have accepted that that's going to happen. They've given up on the idea of actually sitting on your sit bones because your pelvis is too rotated most of the time for that to happen. And they have therefore softened up the front a lot. Really heavy, squishy padding. They've made the shell sort of flexible a little bit, and they put this massive central channel cutout in it to basically unload the pudendal nerve and the pudendal vascular bed that's sitting in there. So they've accepted that you're going to be bearing weight on your perineum, and they've tried to mitigate the problems that come from that. The SQ Lab saddle is a notable exception. It's got a massive kick up at the rear, much more than their other saddles, as you guys can see there, and a super ultra mega short nose. Really interesting seat. This one can be really, really good and actually enable you to still bear weight on the sit bones, but it's one of the very, very, very rare TT saddles that's designed that way. So that's a notable exception, but most of them are designed to bear weight on the perineum and then spread that load out by using a softness and in the front of the seat and a big perineum channel cutout. Now, these are built for pelvic stability based underneath the ischiums. These, you're not going to get pelvic stability from the seat. You're just not, because you're on your perineum, which is yay wide in a fairly big person. It's not going to provide a lot of lateral stability, and that's the key sort of design differences between them.
Do you see it often first as a bike fitter? Are many people coming in with TT saddles?
Every now and again,
Okay.
probably once a month or so, and it's almost always one of these. It's almost always an ISM, and the person has basically gone to it as a method of relieving perineum issues which were coming from other road seats. So that's the one case where it is sometimes good, but we'll circle back around to that. So these things can often be problematic with highly variable pelvis rotations. So let's say you put one of these on your road bike and you go, you're sitting upright doing a zone 2 ride up on the tops looking around, compared to being low in the drops under the pump in a fast bunch ride. Really variable pelvic rotations, not so great. When you're up on the tops and you're sitting really upright, they tend to be quite slippy. You tend to slide forward on them, and because they're not designed for that, you get awkward loading sometimes. They're also super broad in the midsection, and a lot of people find them digging into the inside edge of their groin when they're in that sort of position. Really not so bad though when you tuck down in the drops really, really low. So the variation is sometimes the problem with a TT saddle. They're designed for extreme forward pelvic rotation, and when you sit quite upright on them, they're not so flash. Similarly, but the opposite way around, any style road saddle, being in a really low aero tuck, you're going to be loading the perineum a little bit. The caveat is that most people don't spend hours down there. You fast bunch ride like I did this morning with the guys here on the coast. We would, I'd be down in the drops in a really low position, rotating through to the front for maybe 10 seconds, and then I'd be sitting back up in the pace line a little bit. So the position is much more variable, and a road style seat of some description offers you a lot more, crossover for comfort between all of those different things, whereas these are very hyper specific for just very forward pelvic rotations. So, that's the main reason why you wouldn't want to use one, is because they do tend to be only good in those low positions for most people. These things, in terms of angles, these almost always work best when the rails of the seat are level to the ground, and that's not 100%, but a lot of the time that's the way it works out, and that will translate into about a 6-degree nose down pitch. If you laid a ruler across the top of the seat and put a digital inclinometer on it, you'll get about 6 degrees. And your Bontrager, Hilo Comp, the Celitalia Watt, most of those other ones, they'll come out between 5 and 7 degrees, and that's a pretty good starting point for anyone who's looking to set up the angle on one of these on a time trial bike. Aim to have the rails level and then tweak it from there according to feel and comfort. Now, let's talk about the caveats here. I've got clients, probably 30 of them I would guess, where this is the only seat they can run in a road position. They have tried everything else, then nothing works, and everything gives them perineum pressure, and this is the only thing that works, is this massive central channel cutout, really soft bits here on the edge on the nose of the seat. There are people out there where it's the best of all of the bad options. Some people have got particularly sensitive perineums, they have particularly awkwardly shaped pelvic arches on the bottom, and the ISM style saddle is sometimes the only thing that works. So I'm not going to say never use one of these on a road bike, but it is very rare that we would recommend one for road cycling. So, like, as with almost everything we say, mate, there's exceptions to every rule. This is a game of nuance and subtlety and infinite variation, but not generally a great move, yeah. But if you're one of those people, you've tried 20 different seats and it's the only thing that works, and you just forget about this video entirely and just use whatever works. But that's my take on why you shouldn't, generally speaking, use them. It's the problem with variable pelvic rotation, and you'll get a much better outcome with a road style seat most of the time for highly variable pelvic rotations. When you're stuck in that time trial position for 180 kilometers, sub 4 hours, if you looked at the Kona results recently, 4 hours in that spot, you need something which is going to unload your perineum, and these are just the best option almost always. Cool. Yeah, so that's time trial saddles on road bikes, mate. Hopefully that wasn't confusing too much.
No, I just stick with the SMP for everything.
Mate, you're running this on the triathlon this weekend on this bike, and it's been working for you like I thought it would. So we should put a cross link to your triathlon training video here, and people can cross-pollinate between the two channels if they want to watch that, because Cam's been using an SMP in a TT position, not with the skis, but a TT road position. So I'm keen to see how you go with that, mate.
Look at that slammed.
It just looks great, doesn't it?
It's so slammed.
Yeah, it's a thing of beauty.
It's nice.
And a chimney as well.
Cool.
There you go.
Thanks, man.